Here, I can talk about how I broke my finger the third time a month
Yes,
before my
please
wedding.
do. Woo!
Okay. So I first broke this finger, saving my brother from getting hit from the school bus. It was like pulling up, and he decided that exact moment was the time he wanted to run into the street. And so, like, I pulled him back, and my finger caught on his pocket, and then it broke. The second time was that knitting incident that I just described. The third time, I remember it vividly. It was July 14th, 2019. We were holding our Bastille Day party because we don't do a July 4th party, we do a Bastille Day party. And we were living in our basement apartment still, and I was wasted because how do you celebrate Bastille Day without copious amounts of French red wine? You
Yeah.
just don't. So we were living in a basement apartment, and we had like a stairwell that like led up to like the patio we shared with our landlords who lived in like the main house upstairs. And so, we were having frivolity, we were talking shit on the patio back, and then we were like, "Oh my god, yeah, the bugs are so bad. We need to go back inside. Oh my god, yeah, like there's more cheese inside. Yeah. Oh my god, Bastille Day. Vive la France." And then um my dumbass, again, drunk as hell, tumbled down the brick stairs, um, and broke my ring finger a month before my wedding.
You, I'm glad you only broke your ring finger. I'm glad you only broke your finger. Wild.
It is
Just wild.
like, if you can see, like this finger is like significantly more puffy than this one
Oh yeah.
because I have a bone tumor there because my bone does not heal as bone. It heals as soft tissue.
That's
And it
Wild. That is
yeah.
wild.
that
It's the
is
only bone I've ever broken, and I've broken it 3 times.
I'm gonna go ahead and say you should not break any more bones.
This has been Space Jammer facts.
Yeah. Well, with that bombshell, it's time to begin. The Thy Kingdom Come, which is a game that has less body horror than our intro does. Actually, certainly less real world body horror. It does have a dingo. Hey, girl. Um, Hold on, I have notes for intros. Hi, welcome to Live from the Apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that makes actual play content in the forms of streams and podcasts to raise money for nonprofits, aid organizations, and various progressive causes. Currently, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders, who are providing critical care and disaster relief around the globe, particularly in Palestine and Ukraine. And we ask that if you like what you see here, you take the $5, the $10, whatever you can spare, no pressure, and donate it directly to Doctors Without Borders instead of giving it to us because we pretend to be elves on the internet. They do actual work. We have tried to hide the subscribe button, so the donate button will be where the subscribe button would ordinarily be, and by clicking it, you can make the McElroy brothers yell at JD and interrupt whatever dramatic and important scene is going on. This channel does have a couple of donation incentives. A $15 donation allows you to give a player of your choice +1 forward. A $20 donation will allow you to give a player of your choice -1 on their next roll if you want to be funny. Also, if you donate $25, you can force me, Della Collins, to run the game in a Stitch voice for 60 seconds. You will not find a deal like that anywhere else. Now, let's introduce our players. Going down the alphabet, we begin with Ember.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amber, also known as the Space Jamber, and no, I don't make it a habit to break my bones often. And you can find me anywhere there's internet at the Space Jamber. I am a 3-time Emmy-nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer.
Yeah, just fucking grip it.
I
grip
am
it,
coming to
baby.
you as
Slop that
Imogen
down,
Warwick,
dude.
who is
Yeah,
our
dude.
scholar.
Crack
Oh my
one for the
god,
big
thank you, Bedlam, for
Sorry, my
donating.
timing was bad. My timing was bad.
It's okay. Thank you for donating money to Doctors Without Borders.
There
You
is no bad
angel.
time to donate.
Yeah. I am playing Imogen Warwick, who is our scholar, our only person without supernatural powers, but trust me and believe she has her own drama to deal with. Imogen's pronouns are they, she, which are the same as my pronouns. Yay.
Fantastic. We love to hear it. And next we have Bedlam.
Hello, I'm Bedlam. I am playing Jerome Nears, who is going through a little bit of a crisis here, as we all are, as we all do. And also that donation, I thought I had one more screen before it accepted it, but I did not, so it went through immediately. We'll find out more about how things are going for Jerome. His world's sort of being turned upside down as we left off at the end of last season. He did his first demon form transformation. He's suffering the repercussions of that, and also questioning his patron parents and coven, all the people that are closest to him, and his very objective in life. You can also find me playing Brindle Fallow. I'm actually in 2 games now. What's it called? That other game. Wow. I cannot switch context.
Edward Nigma's member, I think is
Yeah,
what
absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not.
It's funny, once I get thinking about it, I don't usually play in 2 games, so I'm like a one context person. I don't wait, what is the name of the other one? Hold on, wait, I can find it. There it is. Never Ember's Enigma. We are doing heisting in that game. Oh my gosh, that was more difficult than I thought. Okay, anyway, moving on. Let's find out more about Jerome and how he fares in season 2, eh?
Thank you very much. We will do just that. Next is Brendan.
Hi. Yes, I am Brendan. I don't play in Evernember's Amigna. I am just here and some other places. We'll talk about at the end of stream. But yes, I am Brendan. He, him. I am playing Sefer, the vessel, they, them. Teenage Frankenstein, thembo. Really going through it. V2 rocket in a trench coat. Currently kidnapped. That's probably fine. By their uncle, if I'm remembering correctly. That will be cool, I'm sure.
A lot of uncle stuff happened last episode.
So many uncles.
So many
too
uncles.
Too many uncles.
Too many uncles.
Who has uncles anymore?
I mean, you barely do.
Uncles?
Yeah.
And esta economia?
All right, JD.
Hey, I am JD. In this game, I play Saint Thorin Augustine. He's, having a normal one. Can't feel anything really anymore, so he's done a couple of things to try to fix that. He's done cocaine, he's killed 2 werewolves, and he has also done some vigilante shit, and none of that's really satisfied. Now he's gotten his new roommate kidnapped, so I'm sure that's fine, and some weird stuff is happening with his fox.
Grip it, baby. Slop that down, dude. Shit, yeah, dude. Crack one for the big boy.
I assume
Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan. I assume we got to an amusing number with the $4 donation.
Mostly, I was just getting us to a round number.
Fair.
It was off because of the obligatory getting us to 69 in an earlier stream. And so I felt, and in that case, it was me who got us to 69 in the previous stream. So I felt obligated. To make it a nice round number again for everybody else. And by everybody else, I mean me and my weirdo CD.
I'd like to know how long that was bothering you for.
More streams than this one. I was chilling out in the chat for Secrets and Shadows Tokyo Drift for a while. And that not multiple of 5 or 0, just staring at me. Staring into my soul.
I understand. Numbers should be correct. And sometimes they are not, and that is frustrating.
The only acceptable increments are 5, 0, and 9 when preceded immediately by a 6. That's just math.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to this game that is full of theater kids and not math majors. Oh, right. I am Della. I am neither a theater kid or a math major, actually. I'm just here being everybody else. So let's get started where we left off last session. Let's just set the stage. It is it is winter time. It is mid-January. So as the weather warms up outside for those of us on the East Coast of the US, in this game on the East Coast of the US, it is still cold and shitty. And it's past the Christmas holidays, so there's no good reason for it to be cold and shitty anymore. But here it is. So, Soren, you get back you've done sort of your vigilante stuff. You got back to your house. You went up to Sefer's room to see what they were doing, to have a conversation with them, and they weren't there. And then your fox did something weird. There was a very brief sensation of almost like static electricity. And then suddenly, instead of a fox, Zeke essentially split apart. And instead of there being a little white Arctic fox, there was a massive jag of eldritch radiation, stretching from floor to ceiling like a tear in space-time. That stayed open for about 5 seconds and then collapsed back down into a fox. Zeke stared at you, said, "It's happening," and fell over and passed out. What do you want to do?
Stella, I want to know whether I could feel anything that was happening to my fox as this was unfolding.
I feel like you would be, in this case, extending your supernatural senses, which would be a let it out roll.
Cool.
So why don't you let it out for me, buddy?
I would so love to do that. What is let it out with?
Spirit, I believe.
Cool.
And this is the one where if you mess it up, you mark corruption. So
cool. What counts as messing it up? Just, out of curiosity.
So where's my basic moves here? Let it out. So on a hit, you choose one and mark corruption. So that's a 7 to from the list, which is extend your senses, supernatural or otherwise would be the one. On a 10 plus, you could ignore the corruption or choose another one from the list.
Cool. So I got an 8.
Okay, great. So you will be able to extend your senses, but you must mark corruption.
Love that for me.
So where are you at for corruption at this point, Soren?
3 out of 5.
Sick. I think your corruption moves are pretty sick. So
They sure are, and I'm really excited to access them, even if I have to do horrible things to get there.
love to hear it. So yeah, how are you extending your senses in this case? What are you doing to when this happens, you have these sort of 5 seconds, which for you, whose heart no longer really beats, that's a much longer time than it would be for those of us who still have a constant countdown running. What do you do?
I think initially Soren is just so caught off guard by what happened that he can't even comprehend it. That he sees this horrifying change come over Zeke, then sees him return to normal and collapse after saying those disconcerting words. And he just kind of stands there staring, like waiting for something to happen because this is so out of the realm of anything that has happened before, even if the past 3 to 5 months have been far from normal for him. And so I think he's just standing there staring down at Zeke, like convinced that Zeke will move, and then starts to say Zeke's name. And then I think both physically and spiritually reaches out to touch Zeke.
When Zeke is breathing, at least, you think, sides are moving. When you pick him up, he feels much like he always does, still warm, still definitely a fox. Again, appears to be breathing, uh, but does not wake. The moment when that space opened, when you were younger, a younger saint, at one point um, you did a talk, you did a little service in a community where there were a lot of caves, and you have this memory of a time you went to a cave mouth, and in your mind, caves were like these big wide open things with big arching like cartoon like tunnels leading into the earth. um but you remember going to a cave mouth, and there's going to be a church, the service was going to be underground, and you remember the cave mouth being basically just like a hole in the dirt that you had to lower yourself into. uh and that was kind of cool, and the thing that sort of struck you about it was approaching this space and the sense that you got looking into the cave mouth of there being openness, of there being space, a kind of uh, not just like hearing your voice, but like just the way the air moved, the way sound bounced back to you. You could feel that there was openness here, despite the fact that it looked like just like a 3 foot hole in the dirt. That's what you felt coming from that rift. There was space there. There was an openness there. There was something that could echo, something that could transmit, and something reaching. When you pick up Zeke, you get a sense of that same reaching feeling. that rift was Zeke. Zeke, in some sense, still is that rift.
I think, first of all, there is a moment when Thorin feels all of that he's reminded of what it felt like when he thought God was moving through him and allowing him to do things that no human would be able to do. And he's realizing that it didn't feel like this, that there's almost a sense here of there's something out there that I can touch. And that means something. And I think he has no choice but to reach out and see what he can feel.
You keep reaching, but all you get is Zeke. There's a fox that you're holding. And the fox was the rift, and the rift was the fox, and maybe the fox still is the rift, but you don't know how to make the fox be the rift again. We're going to have you think about things you can try. We're going to switch over to the opposite side of the country, sunny California, where Jerome Nears and his father Lou are hanging out in San Francisco, where they both dressed wildly inappropriately, making the assumption, like a lot of Marylanders do, that San Francisco is going to have LA weather when it does not. It is actually quite cold in San Francisco, especially in January. But you are wearing your shorts and some University of California sweatshirts that you bought from the university bookstore. And you guys have been out here for, a couple of days. What's the tone been like? What were you thinking when your dad first suggested this trip to kind of maybe bring you guys back together?
Yeah. So Jerome didn't want to go. He's been pretty he's been kind of disconnected from his family and his coven lately. He's not feeling very kind of close to the, I'd say, like the mission, I guess, of the group. He's sort of been questioning his position with Ivy after going and finding his demon form at the end of last season. Sure, it was in defense against children of Adam. It was there was a situation happening, but the feelings that came over Jerome after taking a demon form for the first time and realizing that he's not in full control. He is not in full control of himself. His faith in Ivy and closeness with the government, that's all secondary to the fact that he's in fact under the control of something much more powerful than he is. It's and it almost doesn't matter. He's starting to question, doesn't matter how he feels, doesn't matter what he believes anymore. and yeah, this was something that his parents had promised to Ivy before Jerome was aware of any of this. So he's not relishing the idea of hanging around and spending more time with his dad right now, who honestly, like he was never his dad travels a lot, right? So this is Lou's attempt to be closer with the son that he doesn't see as often as he would like to, and they also, it's a very interesting dynamic that they have already. So yeah, no, Jerome didn't want to go. He didn't necessarily want to get away. On the other hand, getting away from a community that has been becoming more and more anti supernatural, that's not a bad thing. Like it's kind of good to get away from that constant low level pressure, or high level at times. Like there's been a lot happening. So he's conflicted. Jerome's conflicted about it. He's conflicted about a lot of things right now. So I would say he's walking around with Lou, in shorts, showing off his overly skinny legs, but he's happy to have the sweatshirt on to cover up what he usually covers up, which is that he's a little unnatural looking, a little too bony, a little too tall, a little too unfleshed. So it's this is good for him to find out that it's colder weather there, and it is a new place. He's never been to San Francisco before, so at least there's interesting things around happening while he's avoiding kind of like connecting with his dad, who's trying to.
So while you've been out there, you've been staying with two members of the West Coast Coven, Tanya and Eric Patterson. Tanya and Eric are very friendly. And interestingly, out here, California is interesting. They do not have any. Maryland has a lot of active protection for supernatural people. So you have Aces Church, you have this youth group, you have people who are generally feel pretty comfortable and safe just being like, yeah, I am what I am, that you would not be able to have in the rest of the country, because there are enshrined in the state constitution protections for supernatural entities. California does not have those. California does not have any protections, but unlike a lot of other states, it also doesn't have anything saying restricting their movements or actions. So basically, essentially the idea was that in California, murder is murder, right? Doesn't matter. You murder a werewolf, that's murder. You murder a vampire, that's disturbing a corpse. It doesn't matter. Like, it's murder is murder. Hate crime is a hate crime. We don't need special protections for this community. It is what it is. Don't do murders. Don't do assault. If you kill a vampire who was trying to feed from you, that's self-defense. That's fine. Stuff happens. So there are no protections, but there's also no active restrictions. So a lot of people are not open here about their affiliation with covens, their engagement with witchcraft, or their, vampiric or lupine heritage. So you hid in plain sight in Ace's church. Tanya and Eric sort of hide in plain sight, just as folks. They're just people. Tanya teaches at a local high school. She's a high school teacher. One of those sort of floating teachers who teaches She teaches like the first level drama class and an English class and a like a remedial history class. And Eric manages a Rite Aid. And they have a daughter who is your age. Her name is Erica. She is not a coven member. And so while you're there, you probably wind up spending most of your time with Erica. Because your dad is out selling insurance. Her parents are at work. She should be in school, but they're like, hang out with the other guy. She is actually very impressed that you are now a full coven member. She thinks that's really cool.
Okay, so her parents are straightforward about being part of the coven. She's just not part of it. Okay.
Yes, they're straightforward with her about it. They're not out as being demon worshippers the way you can get away with doing in Maryland.
You used to be able to get away with it in Maryland. I don't know
could,
about now.
Yeah, like
things
6
are getting
months
pretty
ago,
rough.
Yeah. Things are getting rough. Actually, make a dice roll for me. Just highs lows.
Highs lows. You know what? I'm so used to having the auto dice roller up. I forgot to grab mine. Okay, I got it. Wait. Do you need me to pick highs lows, or what do you want?
JD, pick highs lows.
Lows.
Okay, Bedlam roll.
Lows. All right. I got a 4 and a 6, so I got a 10.
Okay.
So I got a high.
You got high. All right. The Sons of Adam have been rallying in California, which is another reason why this family is being pretty quiet. They had been mostly staying away from San Francisco, and of course, like the day your plane touched down, they had like a huge fucking rally like right outside some civic building. I don't know anything about San Francisco. Edit it in.
Yeah, I don't either, so I can't help.
We'll add it in post. Don't worry
We'll
about
add it in post. This is a podcast too. We'll add it in post. But yeah, so they're still active out here. Erica, one day you guys are sort of out just like at a coffee shop, waiting for your dad, and she says, "So, what's it like in Maryland? Like you guys, like all this stuff is happening over there. Like you guys have like actual like churches. You have like, I hear that you almost elected a werewolf governor. Like you."
Yeah, I don't know. It's I've always been brought up there, so I guess I hadn't really thought about it what it's like elsewhere. Like here, like you guys have to be really quiet here. Like we can be overt out there, but like it's not always a good idea. Like the guy that ran and almost became a governor, the werewolf. Like that's a pretty standout case, like that was pretty brave of him to do. And because there's still people that just are anti supernatural. A lot of backward thinking people that still are out there, I think. But it's a lot easier than here. Like you don't have to worry about it as much. But things are weird there right now. Spent a lot of like violence with the Children of Adam. There's been so I don't know right now. It's definitely not the way that it has been. It used to be a lot easier, not even that long ago. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of nice getting away. It's kind of nice being out here now. Even though it's harder here, but at least I don't know. But the Children of Adam, like, have they always been as active as they are? Like when we got here, is that new or?
Yeah, that's new. That's kind of got me rattled too. But I'm hoping mom and dad let me join the coven before like I can, it gets like really bad. I'd like to, be able to like defend myself.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's nice that they gave you a choice. Like you can choose to be in the coven if you want. Like that's cool. My parents didn't really give me a choice. So yeah, I don't know.
That sucks. I thought that was kind of like the whole thing, right? Was choices.
Yeah, no, I thought so too. I'm actually kind of pissed off about it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Everybody's great. I used to think Ivy was amazing, but it's just, I don't know if you know who Ivy is, but it's just things are weird. I don't know.
I haven't met Ivy, but I've met Ace like a couple of times.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen him
I mean
at least.
he's chill. He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's been like moving around a lot. Like
he's pretty. I mean, he's also a pretty straightforward guy. I mean, he's not really, but he is. I don't know. He's cool. I like him.
You guys chat for a while longer. When you get back, Lou is back at their house. And he says, "Hey, Sport."
Hey, Dad.
He never calls you Sport. It's weird. Hey, Sport. How are you? How was your day?
I don't know. Whatever.
Cool. I thought maybe we could go see the shipyard, the bay. Look at some ships tomorrow.
Yeah, sure, if you want to.
All right.
Jerome just kind of sits down in the living room and starts, I don't know, reading something that's just sitting around. Not really reading it, just not talking to his dad much.
So you have another awkward dinner there, and after a while, eventually your dad kind of just sits down, and is like, okay, I know I'm like never. I know I'm not around a lot, and I should be around more, and I'm trying. I'm trying to make up for that now, and I get if it's too late, but I just want you to know that like I want to be here. I want to be there for you, and I don't. I'm not. It
All right.
I don't know what
Dad,
happened.
yeah, look, I know you're just doing the right thing for the coven. I know you're like, it's important what you're doing and it's the right thing. Like, I get it. Like, you don't have to apologize, but I mean, come on, like you knew what this was going to be like for me, and you guys never even let me know. You promised me over to something, and then like this happens to me for the first time, and like you didn't even let me know. You just I don't really want to talk about it. I don't.
I- we I
Jerome just closes his book and stands up and just leaves. He just walks up into whatever room he's staying in and just brings a book with him, I guess.
yeah. That night, you have a dream. In that dream you're walking through your school as you often do when you have dreams about Ivy. You're walking through your school. You get to a classroom door that looks like every other classroom door. You open it. You step inside and you're like, oh, what are you thinking at this point, walking up to this space?
Let me think about this. Like he's so used to these dreams, but like as usual, they're semi-real, semi-not. He's semi-aware, like semi. What is it? When you're in a dream, lucid. He's semi-lucid, right? As far as like realizing that he's there and that it's a dream, but also sort of not like like he's supposed to be there and it's just where he's going. So like he knows what's going to happen. He knows that Ivy will probably be there, but he's going along with it and just walking because this is the dream. This is what happens.
If Jerome were fully in control of his movement, what would he do instead?
Oh, I think he'd probably turn around. Like, I don't think he really wants to interact with Ivy at the moment. I think he's still kind of raw about everything that happened. Sure, it's been. Well, good question. Is this the first time he's having a dream with interaction with Ivy since the end of last season? Because it's been a few months.
It has been a few months. No, I think he probably has had interactions with Ivy since then.
All right.
What would those?
Then I would say they're relatively forced. Like he's there and he'll share, he'll report, he'll do what he's supposed to, but it hasn't been with zeal. It hasn't been with exuberance. It hasn't been with the joy that he previously had. And I don't think he's talked directly with Ivy about that. So I would say if he did fully have, especially after the interaction he just had with his dad, I don't think Jerome would want to go into this classroom if he didn't have to. If he had full like autonomy, like control over the situation, was fully lucid, I think he just wouldn't go in if he didn't have to. But like that's not the step. Like that's just not how it's working, So
Where would he go?
Where does one go in a dream if they don't want part of the dream that they're in? I don't know. Probably leave the school and see what else is out there. I would say that it's like what else would happen? Just go into a normal dream and not have to make decisions about it. I think is what he would like to do.
So what happens is when you open the door, you see the empty classroom. And there's no one there. Ivy's not there. There's no one standing there. But you see there's you notice it like the third time you look around the room, you see that there's the TV that's been rolled in on the cart, like you get when you have a substitute teacher who doesn't want to, or your actual teacher has a hangover that day. I'm sorry, they just slept badly the night before. And on that TV, there's a cassette tape that could be pushed into the VCR. You look at the cassette tape, it's dated for 4 days from now.
Oh, interesting. All right. I'd say Jerome, and at least at first, doesn't approach the VCR and doesn't necessarily at first see the date written on the tape. I would say at first he sits kind of near the back of the room, just passively waiting for the next thing to happen, as one does. Maybe if they don't want to pay attention during a class where a substitute comes in, and they're just and because he doesn't really want to be there, he just sits there for a couple minutes waiting for something to happen, and eventually he gets bored or whatever, stands up and walks over and looks at it, sees the tape, sees that it's dated for a few days from now, and is curious, and nothing else is happening, so he pushes the tape in.
You see grainy security camera footage. And there is a man, very sort of square jaw, stubble on his chin, graying hair, ice blue eyes. Looks a little familiar. You haven't seen, you're pretty sure you've never seen this person before, but he looks familiar in some way. And this person leans forward, says, "We are the sons of Adam. Too long we have let these creatures, these mockeries of God's creation, run wild on our earth. We won the war. Time to remind them of that." He steps aside, steps away from the camera. You see, bound and gagged, tied to a chair, black tears running from the starving pits of his eyes, is the demon Ascentagormath. He says, the man lifts a book, lifts a bell, and a candle bursts into flame in front of him. He says, "I banish you." And there is a pillar of flame. And Ace is gone.
Oh shit. Drum continues watching the tape. Does it just end there?
It ends there. You get the it sort of gets that oh gosh, I can't mimic it. That sound that you hear when you run the tape too long, the cassette tape too long. You get a little "be kind, please rewind" screen. And that's it.
Oh damn. Oh man. Jerome looks around because he's sure that because of the setting, this is like Ivy is probably has sent him this, and may or may not be there. He looks around expecting to see Ivy, expecting Ivy to come in, expecting Ivy to know what's going on and to tell him what's happening.
You do not see Ivy. If you would like to let it out, or use some kind of supernatural sense or something like that, we could do something like that. But as of right now, you are just in this semi-lucid dream.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. No, okay. All right. I'll mess around with that a little bit. Yeah, let's see if I can reach out and try to, because that's a pretty big deal. And Jerome likes Ace. Yeah, he reaches out. He tries to find Ivy. He's feeling bad. He's feeling raw. He's unsure where he stands, but this is like an immediate thing. This is like something is going to happen. This is bad. And he needs some sort of, he needs more. He does need Ivy. He's been depending on Ivy for so long that he's kind of unsure what else to do in the situation. So I think he does. He'll try to let it out and try to connect with Ivy from here in this lucid dream.
Question: do you have any debt? Does you have any debts on Ivy? Does Ivy owe you anything? Because you have the move invocation.
I don't think. No, Ivy does not owe me anything.
Okay.
If I remember right, I might owe Ivy something, but relating to, especially with the broken statue, the bird bone statue, maybe, I can't remember.
Right.
But no, but Ivy definitely does not owe me anything.
Okay. Okay. Oh, whenever you complete a job for your patron, you can cash, you gain a debt. So
True, but when was the last time I did a job for Ivy? I'm
you've
having
had
trouble remembering if
you've
I'd
had 2 on screen. You've done 2 on screen. So I would say you might have 2 debts on Ivy. You could try to summon Ivy with one of those debts using your invocation power, or you could hold those for another time.
No, I actually I think that works better. That fits in better with the story than just doing a let it out. So yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll cash in one of those debts. That seems fine. Also, let me make a note about completed jobs.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So let's see here. So I can cash in. Let's see here. Where does that have for where's that for summoning?
Yeah, it's your
Ivy.
invocation. It's under tainted moves. It's the
Oh,
first.
there it is. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. That's probably why I hadn't thought of that before. I don't have invocation. I have don't look at me.
Oh, I
Inside.
see.
Yeah.
I see what
So,
happened.
so
I
I
accidentally
cannot yet do
clicked
that.
that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, never mind. So, okay, I accidentally clicked that on the version of your sheet that I have because I have a fillable copy apparently. So no, you can let it out though. In that case.
Okay. Yeah, I will do that. I'll do the let it out. Yeah, because I don't think I have a mechanism for just summoning Ivy outside of when they want to communicate with me. So yeah. Okay.
Invocation is a sick skill though, because you can, if you have a debt on someone, you can cash it in to appear in front of them.
Oh, it's just anyone. That's wild.
Anyone. It's not
That's
Ivy
cool.
specific. It is if you have a debt on them, you can cash in that debt to appear in front of them.
That is pretty sick. And I get to click off actually what my advanced is going to be, so I should probably keep that in mind. But as things stand right now, I don't want to make a decision under the gun on that one. So even though it would be great in this moment, I think I'm gonna hold off on that. So I'll just let it out and we'll see what happens, and maybe I'll become more corrupt. Well, yeah,
We are
who knows?
playing to find out.
Yeah, we are. All right. So I've got an 8. That was an 8 on, and that's with spirit.
Yes.
Right. So that's, yeah, I have actually a 0 on that one. So yeah, 8.
All right. So mark corruption. And what are you doing?
That's 3 out of 5 now for me for corruption.
Excellent.
I'm reaching out via. Let me think about this. Oh, What I'm going to do is focus on that moment that I went through with the coven in the mountains, where I'd like really kind of like got initiated and fully brought in on that where Ivy had plunged her hand into my chest and ripped out one of my rib bones, and I'm going to focus on that rib bone and that connection that it now has with Ivy, and see if I can use that connection to bring her to me, to like summon her here, and just like really focus on that.
So it sounds to me like what you are doing is taking definite hold of something vulnerable or exposed, something that is uniquely vulnerable to you because it remains of you. And in this space, this dream that is fundamentally your dream, you are able to do that. The
Yes. Okay.
TV screen flickers on again, and you see Ivy sitting at a desk, writing something with a pen. They look up. Jerome, it's been some time.
Professor Ivy, um, what was this tape? Did you send this tape? Uh, he turns the screen. Yeah, the screen. She's on the screen. Okay. I have a tape here that's showing Ace being banished in a few days. You didn't send it?
I didn't. Where are you right
I'm in
now?
the classroom, where we usually meet. I thought it was you.
Interesting. Ivy stands up and steps through the screen. And it does kind of a dream thing where the screen, the TV both gets really big, but also Ivy is small until she is in the room with you, and now they're regular sized.
Like a very unnatural thing that just seems natural because it's a dream.
Exactly.
Drone
It's
steps back as her presence is notable. So yeah, Jerome steps back as she enters the room.
You now note that on her, she's wearing a crown of ivy that started to sort of drape down her neck. And actually, as you see, it kind of, those little feet that ivy has as it climbs up a wall or a tree, those little tendrils are pressed into her flesh. You came here on your own. That's bold.
Didn't feel like it was on my own. I didn't mean to come here. I didn't want to come here. Actually, I really thought it was you who brought me here.
Strange.
No matter. Is a tape still there? If it is, Jerome pushes it into the player again to try and get it to repeat.
When you go to precedent, there is no more tape there.
Jerome hesitates. It's a dream thing. It's just not there, right? So
yeah, the VCR thing is empty.
So he's at a loss, looking at where the tape was, and then isn't sure for a moment what to do. He turns back to Professor Ivy and says there was a tape, and maybe this is just a dream. Maybe it wasn't. If you didn't send it, I don't know. But it was. Ace was being held by the children of Adam. They were sending a warning, and using him as a what is it? An example. They used a bell, and what was the other thing they were holding?
Bell, book, and candle.
Yeah.
Oh, bell, book, and candle. That's right. It was the book. Yep.
The classics.
The classics.
Look on the hits.
And they banished him with a pillar of fire. It seemed very real.
Interesting. I believe you. And this place existing as it does on the border of so many things, I suppose I should not be surprised that other influences can leak through. However, I thought I had warded. She looks for the first time a little distracted, a little disappointed. Not in you, but there's something in this situation that has her riled. Just a little bit. There's a muscle in her jaw standing out. You have been avoiding me, and I understand. Would you show me what you've seen? And she holds out her hand. And you remember what the way you would present memories to her in the past.
Right. Jerome takes the memory of watching the tape, and it's still fresh, and hands it to Ivy.
I want, before she actually pulls her hand back and says, before you give this to me, I want you to know I did not summon you here. You have the option to walk away. I believe you.
I mean,
I am asking. I am not commanding.
that's a nice gesture. I don't know if it changes much, but that's fine. This is important. If something's going to happen to Ace, it's important, and I want to share it. So he does. He hands over the memory of what he saw explicitly.
You see Ivy's eyes flicker white for a brief moment as they review, and says, prophecy. This is prophecy. No prophet
So it
should
will
be able to
happen?
access this. Ivy stands and says, it will happen if it cannot be prevented.
Wait, who's the prophet? What is the prophet?
And Ivy looks furious. Again, this is a face that you have seen in various levels of sort of placid interest before. But now in this space, you can feel fury, and even being on the outskirts of it, not being the individual inspiring the anger, you can feel it like it's heat. Like if you've ever been to like the desert and stood next to blacktop, there's this awful heat radiating. And it's you're feeling it as heat, but you know this to be the strength of the emotion. She says, I don't know the name of the prophet. No prophets should have access here.
Jerome is that's interesting. So Jerome's ire at being controlled and misled and having doubts about Ivy and the Coven are actually to some degree diminished because of feeling this. At the some amount of fear like of what Ivy can do, but also a little bit more faith in Ivy's power is something that Jerome is feeling right now. It's sort of like when confronted by something that is like overwhelmingly more than you are. Sometimes you cannot help but kneel before it, and that's sort of what he's feeling with this. Unexpected. He did not expect that this was something he would come across, and it makes his feelings of doubt and sort of the sullenness he's been feeling actually like sort of like they seem a little bit more childish now in this moment. It's that's kind of interesting. So okay.
Jerome, I am limited in my capacity here. I will do what I can on this side to speak with Ace as much as possible, but I will need your help mobilizing the Coven to protect him in the world of the flesh. I cannot come through outside of the rituals that you have already been a part of.
Okay. What can I do?
Ivy pulls one of the little ivy leaves off of her crown and hands it to you, and says, show this when you speak to the Coven, when you speak to Coven members of this issue, and they will know that you speak with my blessing. They will hear
Jerome
you.
reaches forward and nods and takes the piece of ivy.
When you wake up the next morning, the dream fades. At that moment, you have the impression of hearing high heels clicking down a hallway away from you. But the dream just kind of fades or shifts into something more jumbled, more chaotic, more forgettable. There you have fleeting impressions of people you know, embarrassment, you know, embarrassment, violence, the various like bullshit that comes from a normal human dream. And when you wake up,
I also think that a lot of the what Jerome was feeling there and the awe of Ivy in the moment is also fleeting, becoming more replaced with his original ire and doubt. So it was definitely an in the moment feeling when faced with that. But yeah, this has not suddenly changed his attitude.
no. In the moment, in her presence, but the real world, the world of the flesh, reasserts itself. And with it come all of your very normal, very, very age appropriate teenage resentments at being sold to a demon coven at a very young age.
Teenagers.
You know, they just don't understand how the world works.
Hormones, you know.
Hormones, you know.
Hormones, the real demons here.
what was that? That show Big Mouth with the puberty
The
demon.
hormone monsters?
The
Yeah.
hormone monsters, yeah. Never saw that show. Didn't ever want to. Seemed like the best parts of it were already in GIF form. Anyway, so when you wake up that morning, there is a perfect piece of that English ivy in your hand.
And this is something that Jerome is used to, is coming out of that state and remembering and latching on to the parts of it that he has to act on, and has to follow through with. So this is while jarring, there's enough lucidity there to remember what he needs to do. So this is while the feelings have changed and the aspect of how everything landed, and all the normal feelings come flooding in. He does intend. I do intend to go and speak to the coven about it with the Ivy, because again, man, the children of Adam can't just keep doing this. This is crazy. So Jerome doesn't take much time. He throws on the now fairly soiled and probably needs to be washed hoodie that from the university. Throws on some clothes, goes downstairs, and finds his dad. Jerome is pretty good at just following through and doing things regardless of how awkward he might feel about it, because he's been kind of pushing to do things, and he's very objective driven and has been to get things done for the coven for a long time. So he's not too worried about how things ended with his dad yesterday, because this is more important, and he knows his dad will understand. And he goes to him. He finds, hopefully, if Lou is already up, finds him, and talks to him.
Yeah, Lou is awake. He sort of sees you, and Tanya and Eric are in there. They're making breakfast. They're sort of they're having that conversation that people who've been married a really long time have, where they're just they're not really speaking to one another. It's just like this full shorthand, like, can you get me the oh yeah, here. That kind of like early morning pre-coffee conversation.
Is Erica there?
Yeah, I think Erica is sitting at the table doing like math homework that she should have done last night.
Frantically.
Yeah.
Well, if you just keep hanging out with people from out of town and go to coffee shops and don't do your homework, and then suddenly you have to go back. I would say Jerome.
These demon worshippers are not, shockingly, people who worship demons in this universe tend to not take school attendance super seriously.
I mean,
truancy, the real
deal. There's more important things going on. So
exactly.
When one is trying to go against the cultural grain and shift the world, truancy is just a side note. So
exactly.
I would say Jerome sees Erica and considers for a moment, but is like, whatever, like, who cares if she knows this is important? And says to Lou, Dad, I had a dream with Ivy last night, and it's really important. And Jerome holds up the Ivy leaf. She gave me this because it's really important that I tell the coven what happened.
So they all, when you hold up, when you say you have a dream about Ivy, they all kind of turn around like, oh wow, cool, like everybody in the room. When you hold up the Ivy leaf, everyone goes silent. You you've never been given something to take out of a dream before. But Ivy kind of gave this to you and you're so used to doing what she says that this doesn't seem that weird compared to anything else. You're just starting to think now that maybe this was actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah, seeing everybody's reaction is definitely something that Jerome takes note of, and gets an understanding of that this is not usual. This is not a matter of course. But slides past it for the moment. And lets him know, specifically looking at Lou, looking at his dad. I saw something when Ivy wasn't there, and it was Ace being banished by the children of Adam in a few days. What was the date? Like, I don't remember exactly
4
what the date was.
days. 4 days.
It was 4 days. Okay. So he looked. Yeah, he tells him exactly which day. They banish him on camera as a message warning about showing how the church's dominance over the supernatural has to be reinforced. And they banish him, and I was able to bring Ivy into my dream, and she believes that this could happen and says I need to let the coven know.
A look crosses your father's face as you say this. A look crosses Lou's face, and he looks down at the floor for a second. You see him take a deep, shuddering breath. And he says, "Okay, all right, this is serious. We've got to get we've I'll cancel my calls for today. Jerome, can you call your mom, let her know to pick us up from the airport? I'm gonna call the airport and see if I can get our flight moved to today. We're gonna head back. Um uh
Is there anything we should do here too? And Jerome also looks over at oh my god, Tanya and Eric.
Yeah, Tanya and Eric nod and they say, yes, we will call the coven together and let them know about this. Can we take a video of you speaking with the leaf, just repeating that so that we can show it?
Jerome looks to over to Lou and is like,
Lou takes a minute, again, is not looking directly at you for a moment, but then nods and says, yeah, that's probably the only way to do it. You can't, we're not going to be able to get everybody together safely quickly enough. It's important. Ace bases everything out of Maryland. We've got to get back there.
Yeah, we definitely have to contact Ace, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Jerome and think first Jerome calls his mom, and then he works with Tanya and Eric to do a video, while Lou is trying to arrange their flights to get back to Maryland quickly.
Yeah, your mom is concerned, is worried about all this, does not really isn't. Your mom handles stuff. So when you give this to your mom, at first there's you get that like that fear, especially when you tell her about the ivy leaf. But she's like, all right, it's handled. I'm going to go to the snake pit now, and I will talk to the people there. We'll get this handled, and I will pick you and your dad up from the airport. Give me a call back whenever you know what time you're coming in.
Okay. Okay, we'll do that. Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Stay safe. I love you.
I love you too.
And your dad manages everything. You take that video, and you are headed back. Up until now, your dad had been kind of like trying sort of like kind of awkwardly like sort of jolly things along. That's gone. Like your dad is now kind of in his own head. And if you want to figure someone out, you can.
I don't think so. I'm not gonna. This is what my parents are good at, and this is actually how they raised me: is to get these things done, to do the important work for the coven, and to believe. You know, and this is the easy part about my family. It's some of the other stuff now. The rift between them that is going to be more difficult. This is easy, so this is fine.
Okay. So yeah, you are going to get home. Imogen. That night, you've got your uncle and a bird skeleton,
As one does.
as one
Naturally.
does, naturally. When you wake up the next morning, it's kind of a when you get up the next morning, it's kind of a normal day. It's Friday, I believe. I think yesterday was Thursday, unless it was Wednesday. I don't remember what we did. We're gonna say it's a Friday. You wake up, you go to school. The owl. Do you do anything with the owl skeleton? Do you do anything different that morning?
Do I do anything different with the owl that morning?
Do you? Does anything about your morning routine change? Or do you, or anything with your parents that morning change?
You know what? I don't think that my routine changes, but I 100% am like anxious about going through my routine as normal. I totally thought JD was smoking a full cigarette just now.
I know.
I was
Just
like,
a
that's
candy one.
bold.
The
Just
candy cigarette?
Just absolutely token it in front
Yeah,
of
so
God
it's-
and everyone.
420 was
Happy-
2
yeah,
days
happy
ago. my dude.
422. Happy
You're a little
422.
Mhm. It's 422.
It's never too late to celebrate the holiday.
And
Anyway,
exactly. No, it's currently 422 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
I know that's fucking right, dog.
Hey,
And go ahead.
no, that's fine.
Weed is legal in so many states, and it all became
something-
legal right as my interest in getting high immediately just dropped off the face of the
Dissipated
earth.
entirely.
Dissipated entirely.
So, because
Dissipated like
everything
so
is
much
being
pot smoke.
everything's being federally accepted now and everything, right? So now it's a Monday, so this is 420 observed. That's the right.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Yes.
Yes.
There it
See,
is.
I can't lie. Sorry, taking it real life for a second. I can't lie that part of the reason why I accepted my job offer today is because they don't do drug checks, and the other place I was interviewing does do drug checks. And I knew I would fail that. So, but yeah, Imogen is nervous as hell and is like absolutely fucked up.
Could
knowing,
probably their self use a gummy too.
yeah.
But would they take one? No, because
Imogen would not.
No,
Because
no,
Jesus
could never
Jesus said
take
no.
could never take a marijuana. Could never do it.
Even though they were witness to an actual saint doing a bump.
I am sure I am sure that Imogen has done all of the research on it. But just, it's just not for them. It's not for them. No, it's not for them. Not for them. They're high on Jesus,
I'm high on God. Yeah, no. Oh, what if I'll have to look up that line from Easy A. Anyway, yeah, no, she is super nervous and is like trying to, it's like, going about like brushing teeth normally, taking a shower normally, and like not having to like look at their parents weird at the breakfast table, knowing that they've actively been doing magic to prevent or doing protective wards on the house to prevent to prevent good old uncle from coming through, our gunkle, if you will.
Ghost uncle.
Oh yeah, ghost uncle.
Or
Okay,
gay
okay.
uncle.
Yeah, or
whatever.
Gay uncle, we don't know. We don't know.
Could be Gunko with two G's. You never know.
We don't know anything about Maddie at this point.
No, we don't.
Other than that he is twins with your dad and is dead, is fully dead.
All the best people are dead.
So you get through the morning. If your parents notice anything, you suspect that it's getting written off as nervousness about finals, mostly because they ask you the question, are you nervous about midterms? Like twice. Like each of them asks you that question separately.
Well, it's kind of weird to be taking a religious history course when you're in the middle of living through religious history.
Your mom just sort of smiles and is like, just, I know you're gonna do your best. And your dad is like, true, real true. But they don't press further.
Oh, impressive.
Unless you sort of go a little bit further with it, but they both kind of accept this response. When you get to school the next day, you see Soren's there, but Sefer isn't. Sefer never comes home. And while Father Chapek and Sister Marie are concerned, they're giving the vibe of people quietly not panicking. We're not panicking. We are definitely not panicking. We're extreme. We're not panicking.
No.
They're very much giving that, like, we're not panicking. Once you leave the house, maybe we'll start panicking.
God, this is the second family that Soren's presence has managed to in some way destroy.
Your presence to the best. Your presence hasn't done much. Oh God, that's just the moon. It's so big. Sorry. The sorry, the moon. You don't know that this is your presence. But yeah, no, they never show back up. They never show up. When you get to school the next day, you see Imogen. Zeke does wake up, but is silent. And when you try to speak with him, he sort of shakes his head and says, "I am processing." And is sort of silent, sort of throughout the day, very pensive, but is following behind you as normal in that sort of vague, always there but not always present kind of way.
I think Soren would attempt to approach Imogen. They've been keeping their distance from him since the night of the party, but he would walk towards them, and you can tell that something is on his mind, but he's also trying to act like this is a normal day. Just kind of like small talk. Hey, how's it going? Did you do your English homework? Like, just casual stuff.
Uh, oh, hey, Soren. Hey, Soren. I'm so sorry that I've taken some time away recently. It's just, with everything going on with finals and um sorry, midterms and everything with my parents, and I I feel so bad that I'm so sorry. I feel like such a bad friend. Um, I just I just, the anxiety has been getting to me far too much for I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine, Imogen. I totally get it.
How are you doing?
I'm worried. I'm worried. Um,
Yeah.
Imogen,
Yeah?
Sefer didn't come home last night.
Sever didn't come home last night?
No, they it's a long story, which I can get into if I need to, but they didn't come home last night, and I think it's my fault.
How would it be your fault that Sefer didn't come home last night? Did you kill
Because
him too? I mean, sorry. Um,
Yo.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, who am I?
You think you think I would do that, Imogen?
I I I let's
You do. You think I would hurt Sefer.
not on a purpose. Not on purpose.
You don't think I'm in control of myself?
Let's just say I've been given a lot of reasons lately for me to not trust or believe anyone, um, when they tell me things at face value recently. But that's my failing, and we can discuss that later. Where do you think so I'm glad to hear that well, I'm glad to hear that you didn't do anything with Sefer, that's wonderful, but that sucks that he didn't come home last night. Where do you think he could have gone?
I mean, so that's kind of the thing. I didn't hurt them, but I did. They were out following me.
They were following you.
Mhm.
Where were Sorry, that's really suspicious sounding. Where were you going that they were following you?
Look, the sons of Adam have been doing all sorts of shit. I was out trying to see if anyone was causing problems, and I just found a couple of kids around our age spraying some anti-supernatural graffiti. Anyways, they
That's fucked
saw
up.
that I snuck out, I guess, and they followed. And I didn't want to be followed, so I kind of lost them, and I kind of assumed they would go back home, but they didn't, and then they didn't come home. I don't I don't know what to do.
Have you Do Sefer's parents know?
They know that Zephyr didn't come home.
I hmm. But Amber's looking through some moves to see what we can do. uh Oh my god, I
Nobella, you're
accidentally turned
muted.
on talking heads. Oh my god. All of a sudden I had like okay. Okay. I have Arcane Detective, Della. Technically, rules as written says when you interview a knowledgeable NPC while pursuing the arcane, roll with mind. However, obviously, we do not have an NPC that I am interviewing, but I have a PC that I am interviewing. They can, on a hit, they offer you a concrete lead, an important location, supplier, or tome. On a 10 plus, you already have a connection in your arcane network that allows you to make good on this info. On a 7 to 9, the path forward is blocked or precarious for you at this time. On a miss, they tell you little, but your questions put them in grave danger. I think, can I make an argument that this would be a good move to use at this time? Even though this is not an NPC that I'm interviewing. You are muted.
The problem is the reason this works for an NPC is that the NPCs have certain knowledge that the PCs don't necessarily have. I will let you roll this. What we can do here is, let me see the thing here. You have Arcane Detective, knowledgeable industry. Okay. Yes, I will let you roll with, I will let you use this move here.
Okay. Great. Donka. So that is a 9. So the path
Excellent.
forward is blocked or precarious for me at this time.
Okay. But as you interview Soren about this, as you're talking, you do figure out, heading to your next class, you start asking some clever questions. And what's interesting here is that these aren't like arcane questions. You're not asking like mystical secrets. But you are able to kind of pinpoint what probably the location is of where Sefer may have disappeared from where if something bad happened to Sefer, you're able to be like, okay, so it must have been in this block. It must have been in this block, and you're able to sort of pin it down to this one park where you're like, yep, this is probably where they are.
Okay.
If something bad happened, this would be where they are, based on A, B, C, X, Y, Z, how fast they can run if they were running, given where Soren was when they lost them.
Okay.
So that is your solid lead, is a place to start.
Okay.
Before we take our break, we're going to real quick head over to a dark, abandoned, well, semi-abandoned, not as abandoned as people would like it to be, warehouse, where Sefer, you open your eyes and there's a weird pressure everywhere around you, and you blink, or you think about blinking, and you hear a voice, and you definitely hear it. You hear a voice say, "Can it hear us in there?" something taps, and your eyes, you think they're eyes. They've always been eyes before. Focus, and you see that same man that you were that you saw last before everything went black, before a hood dropped over your head. Sort of looking at you, looking down at you, sort of quizzically, sort of like questioningly. You hear another person say, yes, it be able to hear us. It should be able to hear all of us talking, so be careful what you say. And you are lifted in two hands, very easily held up to someone's face, turned right and left. Can you talk?
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, just the kind of uh, language that I'm kind of hearing deployed in this situation, kind of hurtful. I gotta be honest with you. Also, is my uncle here right now? Can I talk to him?
Your uncle, you have Anthony! And you are placed back down with a slight jarring sensation. And that man walks into the room. The man who looks quite a lot like Father Chapek walks into the room. Says, "Is it done? Is that it? What did you do with the body?" It's still in the preparation room. We're still working on the things and the things, the stuff. Like, keeps looking over at you, covers his mouth with one hand, like, the stuff.
Della, am I a head in a jar? Della, am I a head in a jar right now?
The camera pulls back, and what we see in the jar is not just a head,
Mm-hmm.
but it is a little figurine made out of clay, floating in some kind of fluid, with a very rough face that looks like it was poked, two eyes, and a little gap thumbprint mouth. Like a fucked up gingerbread man. And that's where we're going to go on break.
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
hey, Della. Hey, Della.
Yeah?
Interesting.
Della.
Actually, kind of
What the
would have.
fuck?
Actually, I kind of would have
Hey!
preferred head in a jar. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like head in a jar. Head in a jar. I've read that issue of Immortal Hulk. Like,
Okay, hi everybody. We're back. We're back from break. We have tea and all sorts of other beverages. Everybody hold up your beverage of choice. Yes. Excellent. We're back, and we're going to come right back to where we left off, where Sefer, rather than being their usual significantly larger than 6 feet tall self, are now like a 6-inch tall, a little like stick figure guy. It called you its uncle, says the really the only word for this guy is there's two words. You could go goon or henchman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
and that's separate from the German guy.
There is the German.
Separate from the German guy.
There are three men in this room. To all impressions, men in this room. There is the henchman. There is the German, who you have not seen. You have not laid eyes upon the German. And it's not Dr. Finley. Dr. Finley is way worse than this guy.
Does the German guy sound like my first doctor before Dr. Thesiger?
No.
Okay. Cool.
No.
All right. So German guy, Mook, and Uncle Tony.
Yes. German, Mook, Uncle Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Tony sort of, when you say uncle, sort of looks a little like kind of sneers.
Yeah, I called. Yeah, he's my dad's brother. Makes him makes him my uncle. It's my uncle. It's my Uncle Tony right there. Uncle Tony. Missed you at Thanksgiving. Also, I do kind of. I can ask you a favor. Would you mind calling? Do you mind calling my dad? He's kind of going through a lot right now, and I kind of feel like he might benefit from like he's kind of deep in those like I'm trying to relate. He's kind of like he's deep in those like big like dad kind of feels, and like I feel like he would benefit from some of that like the like fraternal bonhomie.
I could keep it together until you said bonhomie. I don't know.
Also, I'm a little guy right now. Man, that's weird. I'm like a little action man. Do I have karate chop action? Several will try to move their little figurine body. Can they move around?
Give me a blood roll.
Okay.
Give me an arcane fluids roll.
Yeah.
Don't have blood right now.
That is.
Does Sefer have blood usually?
Sefer has fluids.
Yep. What was your fluid roll?
My fluid roll comes out to a 7 with the +1 blood that I have.
Okay.
The +1 blood and or other fluids that I have.
Okay. You are able to move. If you test your karate chop action, your little undifferentiated hand goes dink against the glass.
Oh, cool, very cool, man. All right, I feel like this should be stressing me out right now. Teenage hormones. Oh, it's crazy. This is a situation. I feel like this is a situation where my friend Jerome would probably offer me like a gummy or something, which is honestly very sweet of him. But I feel like I would have the heart to tell him that like THC in my physiology mostly just makes me excrete bioluminescent ichor. It just kind of makes me sweat glow stick fluid. But I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Hey, Uncle Tony, how's it going?
Do you actually think you're oh God, I'm sorry. I can't remember Father Chapek's like first name.
Carl.
Carl. Do you actually think you're Carl's kid?
Well, I mean, there is kind of a lot to unpack there. So I don't know for a fact that my dad loves me. I suspect it, but I haven't been able to like verify that objectively. That said, I do know for a fact that my mom loves me, and that's pretty cool. And just kind of like by kind of the transitive property, like my mom considers me to be her kid, and my dad kind of in their sort of very chaste spiritual marriage that they have to rear me as their own scion. By transitive property, I think if my mom considers me her kid, then I think realistically speaking, it kind of stands to reason that I am also my dad's progeny, in a manner of speaking.
Oh, so like an adoption thing, says the
Yeah,
henchman.
yeah. No, you're getting. Yeah, no, you're getting it. I don't know why I'm channeling Owen Wilson this session, but
But you really are. It's working. It's working. You're just a little guy now. You're not really used. There's a whole
yeah, no,
different kind of
Sefer's
resonance pattern
right.
here.
Yeah, no, it's Sefer. It's little guy Sefer. Little guy Sefer is definitely channeling kind of an Owen Wilson kind of vibe.
You know? Interesting. You are not finding yourself afraid or any kind of fear or problems.
I imagine. I think that I think we would both agree that I'm not human. Um, Humans would probably find this incredibly distressing. Um, I don't feel the same level of connection to um, my fleshy corpus that humans do. I am always acutely aware that I uh, have uh, uh, an alchemical furnace with exceedingly poor containment where a soul should be. Uh, and as such, it's just it's generally very I don't know, it's just kind of a thing, you know? I'm me. I'm Sefer. I'm a little Sefer. I'm a little I'm a little I'm
Is
a little
this
guy Sefer right now.
is this gonna work? The
If you
Tony
told me what you
says,
were doing, I could probably tell you whether it's going to work. I mean, don't get me wrong. Your German does sound pretty knowledgeable. Almost as knowledgeable as my German. Um, but all things considered, I'm probably still the person you want to be talking to about whatever it is you're trying to do. So if you were to just tell me what it is you were trying to do, uh, I could probably help you get there a lot quicker.
huh.
Also, just apropos of nothing, Della, how much would you say that I weigh in this current form?
Oh, it's hard for you to tell. So you by yourself.
I just mean like in an objective sense, how
Oh,
much
in
do
an
I weigh?
objective sense, couple ounces.
Couple ounces. Okay, all right. I can work with that.
You are, um, you're
Okay.
about the size of Freud and his stand here.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
about that
Okay.
tall.
Okay.
You probably don't weigh much more. You are a little guy made out of sticks,
Cool.
encased in clay.
No, it's fine. I can work
Um,
with that. I can work with that.
the with the fluid and the containment unit you are in, you that altogether weighs significantly more.
Mhm.
Um, and as you are looking about your containment unit, as you kind of slosh through the liquid that you are submerged in, you see that there are a lot of markings around that you recognize from the markings that you have over your own body. Uh, Specifically, markings that you know to be markings of containment, uh, containing that alchemical furnace that you have instead of a soul, locking it into this form. But rather than being on your body, they are in this sort of unit. Um,
So if I were to leave the containment, my soul would become untethered from what it is currently attached to.
Potentially, you don't super know.
Yeah,
Seems likely.
yeah. As to what happens after that is a wild question.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You Tony sits down across from you, and he says, "Get out, both of you." And the German says, "But Anthony, please, this research is so valuable. Leave your recordings."
I'll take notes. It's fine. Don't worry.
Take notes. It's going to take notes for me. And you see, leaving out the same door, you see the henchman walks out, and you see rolling out a what does in fact look like a brain, complete with eyes and a spinal cord, in a tank of fluid on a little tank tread robot leaving the room.
Oh, is that the German?
That appears to be the German.
The German.
The
old German brain in the jar. Yeah.
You know, I thought as long
classics.
as
They always get me with that one.
you know, as long as we are channeling Hellboy quite so strongly, I thought I would just go all the way and put a German brain in the jar. You know.
Yeah.
Natürlich. Also, Tony sits down across from you and says, "What do you think about all this? Sorry, I don't mean your situation. I'm pretty sure your situation right now sucks. We designed it pretty specifically to not be great. What I mean is creation. What do you think about creation?"
Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by creation. You mean like what is it toward like the concept of like the generative or creative act? Um, I'm kind of ambivalent about it personally, seeing as how it is, to my knowledge, beyond me.
Oh, of course.
Not a fan of art class, if I can be totally honest. I'm wondering if I can turn myself in as my midterm. I mean, I feel like you might have saved me a lot of work if I'm being awesome, being honest.
You're worried about your midterm.
Yeah, I know it seems crazy. My adrenal responses never calibrated the best, even in my regular time body. That was before you stuck my soul equivalent into this little Shabti
Mhm.
fella.
Yeah,
Before he made me into a little Ken doll.
yeah, instead of a big Ken doll.
Yeah.
Our German thought that might happen. Lacking a any kind of hormone or even hormone analog, you might be more inclined to speak truth, though I'm hearing a lot of prevarication from you, which does not make me thrilled.
That's honestly, that's just like I don't really have a problem being honest. Some people would say I'm too honest if I'm being completely honest. Yeah, these are things you would know if you came to Thanksgiving, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, what is Carl like these days?
Oh, quiet. Especially with all like, the Sons of Adam stuff going on. Very kind of, conflicted about that whole situation. Um don't think he's the most pleased that you're caught up in it either.
caught up in it. What did he tell you?
Nothing. I just assume you were here when I woke up after I got kidnapped. So I think it, logically stands to reason that you're in it.
I'm gonna let me go back to my first question. What do you think of God's creation? This
I would des-
universe that you have been invited into and are currently squatting in.
I would describe it as uh solidly B plus work.
All right.
Solid second draft.
What would you do different?
Oh gosh, geez. Probably. Well, less hate, definitely. A lot of a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of I would try to make people understand each other better.
Huh. I got a question for you. What would you do if you could make a new universe? If you had that opportunity? Would you take it?
Not right now.
Why
I
not?
don't, I don't really feel like I'm qualified.
Well, that's the thing about creating your own universe, right? The flow of time is in your hands. Time, space, matter, distance, all these concepts, being, non being. Would you take it?
Honestly, no.
Why?
Because I'm shitty in art class.
Modesty. Interesting trait.
I'm not sure my teacher would agree with you.
You are powered by an alchemical furnace, standing in place of a soul, as you said so eloquently. That furnace contains 75 to 80% of what a soul is. Right? One of the problems of making a new universe, it has been for a very long time, has been that we kind of have to destroy this one first. Build a new universe. Gotta wipe the slate clean, right? I think we found a way that we won't have to do that. But we need a power source. We're gonna be our test drive, kid.
Yeah. It's kind of figuring that.
What do you think happens when you die? I know we go to heaven, we go to hell. I don't know which. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know where I'm going. I
Well,
guess I'll find out. But what happens to you?
well, it's a very interesting eschatological question. I mean, for example, right now, what passes for my soul, my sense of self and individuality, such as it exists as an extension of my Athenor, is currently bound into this little guy, in this little apparatus here. If that apparatus were to be destroyed, uh, who knows what would happen to me? Um, there's a lot of calculations you could try and do, none of which would answer, the fundamental question of who we are, what, makes us who we are. Calculations, uh, incidentally, like the relative horsepower to torque of the Royal Blue B&O railroad engine. See, if you'd come to Thanksgiving, you would know that Dad has gotten really into model trains recently. I think it's part of a midlife crisis that he's been having. So I tried to read up on model trains and train history because there'd be no railroad, a very historic railroad here in Maryland. And I learned everything that there was to know about the Royal Blue. It hell of a locomotive. Like, I'm not much of a train spotter. I'm not a rail fan like Dad is, but I know a bit about this train. And this train had an 18,000 horsepower engine, which comes out to approximately 990,000 foot-pounds of torque per second that it could put out, which, incidentally, if I was really, really trying, is approximately the same amount of foot-pounds of torque per second that I can put out. Now that is when I'm big guy Sefer, not little guy Sefer. Big guy Sefer is about 260 pounds of corded muscle. Little guy Sefer is only about 2 ounces of lead. But if we crunch those numbers, that's still roughly 476 foot-pounds of torque per second. And I am going to try and just fucking explode out of this fucking apparatus.
Fully sick. Fully sick. I love it. Go for it. Make your fuck this, fuck that, fuck you roll. I don't know what you're rolling. Are you using a move?
Well, let's see. Probably. Most of mine are explicit. I probably would be let it out, I guess.
I feel like, honestly, this you could make the argument that this is only flesh.
It is, but that just gives me armor when I go directly at someone without any regard for my own well-being.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it gives me armor when I decide.
Gives me armor.
That just gives me armor when I decide to fuck everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just going to roll with blood and see what happens.
Okay, you're just unleashing an attack?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, roll to unleash an attack. You are going to take a -1 to your blood rolls at the moment.
Okay, cool.
Because you are a little guy.
Just a little, just a little buddy.
Just a little buddy.
Okay. That comes out to a 9.
A 9. Okay, excellent. And you're rolling flat at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. So you are unleashing an attack?
Yep.
All right. What are you doing? Specifically, what are you doing?
I think Sefer is basically little gingerbread buddy is going to just kind of like float backwards in the little tank, and upon making contact with their little legs on the back side of the tank, is basically going to just torpedo launch themselves out of the other side of the tank directly at Uncle Tony.
Sick. You can choose, you got a hit. You can choose to inflict terrible harm or take something from them. What would you like to do?
I'm going to take something from them. Wow, what do I want to take from them? I want, shoot. Can I take from him his belief that this was a good idea?
You can. That will not. That had already happened.
Mhm.
I got to be honest. You
Okay.
busting out of this already did that. I don't know that that is going to help you as much in this situation as you think.
Mhm.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You could go, depending on where you strike him in the body, you could go with like wind, like knock him over, knock the wind out of him, so he can't breathe. It's gonna take him a minute.
Can I take from him his consciousness?
You are. So the problem with the torque thing is, you also have to have a place to stand. So you are moving very, very fast, but the surface you were pushing off of was not stable.
Yeah, no.
So you're able to. You are moving baseball thrown by a normal person's speed. Like, this is not like MLB.
Yeah.
Baseball pitch.
I'm just beaning him in the head with a Warhammer figurine.
You are going really fast, and it's gonna hurt a lot. And you can choose your target. So you can knock the wind out of him. You can hit him upside the head and make him like see stars, probably not black out. You can take an eye. You could hit him in the throat, and so he can't speak.
I'm going to do that because that way he can't yell for help.
I like it.
There we go.
It. So you do that. You come out and you smack him in the throat as fast as you can, which is faster than he was expecting. And would you like? You can also choose one from the list below. You get to choose whether he inflicts harm on you or you find yourself in a bad spot.
I'll take the harm.
Take the harm?
I'll take the harm.
So
could I have that hit my armor from only flesh?
Yes. I'll say that. Because what happens is you hit the ground, and he stomps on you.
Yeah.
He just straight stomps you. And ordinarily that would do like 1 damage. You're a little guy. He breaks you.
Little guy.
You are smushed.
Yeah.
Ow. And he's going to you are going to take at this point 3 harm instead of 1, just because of sizing.
Yeah.
And he sort of looks down at you, like choking, and like peels you up off the floor, and goes and looks over at the tank. Like just sort of shakes his head and puts you, like reaches through the broken glass and like drops you back in the fluid. And walks out of the room.
Darn. I was kind of hoping that my consciousness would disapparaate before now. Shoot. Darn.
Well, you weren't out for very long.
So I'm still in the juice with but the tank is broken, yeah.
The tank has a big hole in the side of it from which all of the juice has sort of poured out. So there's
I'm just in the little bit in the bottom, basically.
Yeah, there's like 3 inches at the bottom. So you can kind of like sit up and like squidge your clay back together to reinforce your skeleton. But you are kind of back within the bounds of that little your tiny back to tank.
Can I wriggle my way out again?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just kind of Play-Doh onto the floor.
Okay, you Play-Doh yourself onto the floor. You slap down wetly. It's a very ossuary moment, and you roll with what do you want to have happen here?
What I would like happen is to have my consciousness separate from this thing that is trying to bind it. What happens to it after that point? I leave in the capable hands of the storyteller. I would like to effect a spiritual escape, if not necessarily a physical escape.
Give me a roll with spirit.
Okay. That is boxcars +2.
Oh shit. Okay. We're gonna come back to you.
Sounds good.
All right. Jerome, your plane lands. This is like the night before all this happens. Your plane lands. You get in. You sort of summon the coven, and you are actually brought before Ace. It says, I hear you got a message for me.
Yeah, Ace. It's about the children of Adam. It's good to see you again. I know it's been a while. I had a vision that was sent to me, and Jerome looks around like so like, is this Ace's like typical court, or is he meeting with us in private, or like
You are meeting at the snake pit. You are meeting in kind of it's in the club, but the club is currently like closed. So it's Ace, his retainers, like all of his trusted people, and a handful of members of your coven as well. The word is spreading from like member to member, sort of all across the U.S. Your parents are kind of getting pages and pings, sort of letting them know, like, okay, Ohio's been told, okay, Florida's been told, okay, Nebraska's been told. It's kind of each state is kind of reporting in, spreading out from California.
Okay. Jerome will look around before continuing what he was saying. And just obviously looks at Ace's retainers and sort of hesitates. Should we talk in private? This might be sensitive for you.
Okay. Looks sort of at his retainers and just sort of like jerks his chin and says, doesn't say anything. His bodyguard, who is a like solidly like 7 foot tall, like just wall of muscle, who's always wearing this sort of like hood over their face, and body armor, like hesitates, and Ace says, "Fuck off! Look at him. What's he gonna do? Fuck off." And the bodyguard also leaves.
I had okay. I just wasn't sure. I had a vision and a dream, and that's usually how I talk with Ivy. And there was a message. Jerome sort of like takes it, like pauses, like composes himself. There's going to be a video of the children of Adam banishing you as a message in. Wait, how long has it been now since we got back? I guess a day or so.
It's been like you're kind of like confused with like time zones a little bit. It is the next day, so there are 3
days left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 3 days, the children of Adam, they're going to broadcast something, or maybe not, or maybe just videotape it. I'm not sure. Showing them banishing you. They will have you, and they will banish you using a book bell candle.
The classics.
And I don't know. I might have thought it was just a dream, but it was where I usually meet with Ivy, and Ivy came to me and gave me this. And Jerome holds up the leaf to punctuate that it was. She believes it was a legitimate prophecy.
Well, that's weird, because like they can't banish me.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I don't know. It was with a speech saying that the church had won, and they need to like show that that supernatural needs to be controlled. And
no. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I see the leaf, and obviously Ivy thinks this is important, but what's confusing me and the reason why I'm kind of struggling with this is that they when I say they can't, I mean they can't. Like, it is no summonings, no banishments. That can't happen unless something is really changed.
I mean, I guess we have to assume that something's going to change. It seemed really real. I don't think it was a hoax.
Okay. Huh.
I couldn't tell where it was either. You were in a room, you were on a chair. I don't know where this is going to happen.
If they've made the veil permeable again, that would cause them a lot more problems than it would cause us. Me, if they banish me, that would suck. I do not wish to get banished. That would be bad. I do not want to be banished. No banishings for me. So thank you for this warning, Jerome. Huh. I'll look into this.
What could they do to weaken the veil?
I mean, there's all kinds of ways, like supposedly it could be done, but for the most part, you're looking at like the old ways, human sacrifice, uh, defiling of relics, Ivy could do it. That's actually why Ivy can't come here, is because she'd fucking rip right through the veil, just tear it straight down. That's why she doesn't, that's why she's not here like I'm here.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you don't want
Jerome doesn't say that. Jerome doesn't say that. Jerome's thinking that, though.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
But
I don't assume that Jerome has probably talked with the Coven a bit before making it here, because they've been meeting, they've been doing what have you, talking on the phone. Would it seem likely that we would have started working on trying to find how many different ways that the Children of Adam could do something like this to Ace? Because I assume Ace isn't the only one that would have realized that no, they shouldn't be able to do that, right?
Yeah, there are other people who would be like, who would have. No one has said that to you. A lot of people up until this point, when people have been like, "Oh wow, that's weird. Why would they do that?" Or when people have said, "How could they do that?" Your assumption has been, "How could anyone go after someone as powerful as Ace?" It's been much more of a, why would somebody go after Ace? How could they go after Ace? He's like a big deal. It didn't really cross your mind that this was not necessarily a possibility, given the a metaphysical impossibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ace, I feel like we should be able to. Should we start hunting these down, like try to find all the ways that they could do this and figure out like if like how the children of Adam might have access to weakening it.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, you said it would be worse for them than it would be for us. I mean, I don't want to see you banished, but like, if it weakens and you get banished, maybe we should have a plan to take advantage of it too.
Jerome, I like the way you think, kid. I like the way you think. You are thinking with brains. You're right. We should have a plan. I'm going to work on that plan. I'm going to work on that plan. My bodyguard is going to be working on making sure we shore up all our security here. You know what I want you to do now that you've told everybody what needs telling? If you've told everybody, once you've told everybody what needs telling, I don't want to make assumptions about your mission and all that. You're friends with that kid from the archives, right?
Yeah, Imogen. I was just thinking of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bet they can find some weird shit about you know.
Different ways they could weaken the veil, or have in the past, or what some splinter group of the church might do.
Yeah, what kind of weird arcane theological shenanigans are they up to?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Ace. Because I don't know anything about the veil. I'm trying to think back. Have Jerome and Ivy actually had that conversation? I know that's come up before, but I can't remember if it actually came up in conversation, like overtly between the two of them.
It has. The metaphor that Ivy has used when talking to you about that is like, what angels and therefore fallen angels are fundamentally are the tools used to build a universe. You do not want a crane to drive through your house.
Right.
And that would essentially be the effect of Ivy crossing over into the universe, would be, in an active fashion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. No. That's a great. That's. I didn't realize that, Ace. So yeah, we should definitely like start looking at different ways that they could do this. Yeah. I'll help you 100%.
I appreciate it, kid. Hey, have you been doing all right? I haven't seen you around.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if we want to get into that right now. I mean, I've been around. I've still been doing everything that I need to. It's been a little different lately. So
you had your first transformation, didn't you?
Wow, yeah, Ace. And Jerome is embarrassed. He looks around because he doesn't know how much of the other like coven. Everybody else is there. This is a very personal conversation.
Everyone is fucked off. When Ace said, "Yeah, fuck off," everyone fucked off.
I assume some of the coven folks are still there. Okay, all right.
No, everyone's kind of.
He's a little less embarrassed. But.
Yeah. He's not trying to blow up your spot. He's not trying to tell everyone your business. He's just like, yeah, it's weird. It's weird,
Yeah. It was. It's hard. I guess some of the things that I've always been really sure about, I'm not as sure about right now. And it's not what I expected. It was not what I expected. I didn't know what was going to happen, but it wasn't bad. So, I just don't. I think it's hard to find out you're so much under the control of something, you know, and it's. I don't know. I don't know what I feel about it yet. I guess, you know.
Hey, when I had that realization, I made war on my creator. So, you know, don't maybe look to me for advice. It didn't work great for us.
All right.
But
would you do it again?
Ace gets kind of a faraway look in their eye. I don't know. I've been putting one hoof in front of the other for a long time. Do you want to try to figure somebody out here?
Heck yeah. Because Jerome's about to slump back. He was hoping to get some amount of advice from somebody who's been through something huge in comparison and has a lot of experience. And for them to just say, I don't know. Yeah, definitely. So, what do we got here? Figure someone out. Is that just a 12 plus? Wait, where's is that the under advanced
No,
moves?
figure
Or is
someone
that
out on a hit, hold 2. No, it's under basic moves. Under basic moves. Under advanced moves, there is
there it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's with mind.
It is with mind.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Do I have anything where I can do that now? It's misleading people. I can do with heart. Jerome has a lot of heart. Okay. All right. We'll try it out anyway. He'll do what he can.
Yep.
He does not do well.
Oh no.
That is a 2.
A 2. A total of 2. Yeah. He looks so what you do get is that you would not even have gotten this. What you are getting here is honesty. And you're pretty sure if you had asked him in a room full of other people, you would have gotten a real bravado answer. But you're not getting what you want from this, but there is honesty here in this, like, I don't know if I would have done that.
All right. Jerome slumps a little. He takes this honestly and directly and is disappointed that he wasn't able to get some level of, like, what's it called? Something from Ace's experience, you know, and just he was hoping there might be a better answer there. So
I can say that the first time when it sounds bad, when I rode a human, back before I had a body, when I was just sort of a disincorporated spirit, I can tell you that was weird for me too. I was not certain I liked it. And I built this, sort of gestures at himself. I built this so that I wouldn't have to do that anymore. So I get the feeling of not necessarily loving to share space.
right. Well, I appreciate it, Ace. I appreciate you being straightforward with me about it. Yeah.
Well, that's the honesty you're getting today, from yours truly. Go talk to Imogen. I'm gonna go try not to get kidnapped, I guess. By a bunch of fucking wackos.
I'll let you know anything I find. We'll do our best to keep you from being Yeah. We want to keep you here. So
Okay. So it's the end of the school day. You guys go to school. Obviously, Jerome is not in school that day either. But as you guys are leaving school, coming home, you do see Jerome kind of walking back toward his place. You all sort of meet up.
I would say he probably got a ride back to it's with a bunch of people, but is now out walking with Dusty. He hasn't seen Dusty in a while, and is like, you know, doing his walk and talk with Dusty. So yeah.
Soren and Imogen, what do you do? You're being approached by your other absent friend.
This is actually probably right after I'm like telling Soren, like, okay, I've spent the day. I know we had a really weird start to the morning, and again, deeply apologize. But I spent the day seeing if there's any leads on what could have possibly happened to Sefer, if anybody knows anything. And I'm telling you, like, my connections have told me, like, okay, we were able to narrow it down to like this one park. Maybe you could try there, but I know my parents would not allow me right now out of the house late enough to check it out. And so that's the conversation you're walking up on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say Jerome. His head had been down, and he's just, you know, walking forward, feeding Dusty whatever he had been having, because he needed to eat something before moving on to the next thing. It's been a lot, and then looks up and realizes that he sees the two of you, like much closer than he would have expected. Like he just hadn't been paying attention. Was just, you know, looking down, and then and realizes that this is great. I mean, he really needed to talk with Imogen. So Jerome is Imogen. Hi, hey, yeah. So I'm sorry. Okay. Hi guys. I haven't seen you in a while. Soren, like how are you doing? There's a lot going on, Imogen. I think I need your help with something. Maybe the both of you. I don't know. Do you have a couple minutes?
Sure. You've never asked me for help before, Jerome. Have you even talked? Have we ever even talked?
You guys
Yeah,
have talked.
of course we have. I mean, Soren and Jerome have. No, we did. It's just
Jerome spent most of the first season actively trying to avoid Soren.
That is true. No, that is true. Because Soren is very much like the other side of things. I think, if I remember right, like when when the children of Adam kind of came in, and Soren was actively fighting against him, like in that parking lot. If I remember right, like Jerome's chill toward him had like melted a bit. So I think there was some more casual interactions that had happened from there. Like it was sort of, yeah, because initially it was like there's a lot of distrust for a saint, but obviously like
Valid.
anyway, yeah, something you don't seem like a typical human at this point, you know.
Is that better or worse? Who knows?
I guess we'll find out.
Imogen, the typical human.
because we went to there was also the party situation and everything too, right? So anyway, whatever. Okay. So wow, there's so much to go over here, but I think there's something going on with Ace. You remember Ace, right? We met him that one time.
There's been a lot of one times, Jerome, and we haven't had many of you and I particularly haven't had many of those one times. I'm not saying no, I'm just surprised, but yeah, no, I would love to help.
What was it? Didn't we all meet with Ace at the diner
Yes,
that one
you
time?
did all meet Ace at the diner, which Imogen, you had never met a full demon before, and he was very a demon. Ace looks like the classic, hooves, horns, kind of like Lenny Kravitz.
Probably tried to
Hot,
get to
but
you to
Amber
have
has
some
no
drugs.
recollection of
But yeah.
this, so
Yes, it did happen.
Okay.
You drank juice when everyone else was drinking whiskey.
Got it. Yeah, okay, got it. Eh, okay. The hot, okay. Yes.
So he's there's like kind of a situation here with the children of Adam. They might be planning something to try and banish him. From definitely looks around and just like sees if there's anybody else around, kind of like walking around the sidewalk or whatever, because this is weird and touchy, and he doesn't see anybody, so he's just full on goes in. We have a pretty good source saying that the children of Adam in 3 days are going to try with like probably going to be able to succeed in banishing Ace. And you probably don't care about that, like no big deal, whatever. But the outcome of this might be that they would have to weaken the I guess they call it a veil, like the connection between like our world and the demon world and like everything else would have to be weakened apparently to do that. Do you know anything or could find out anything from the archives on how that could happen? Because there could be some massive repercussions from this. Personally, I'd like to see Ace not be banished, and I could understand if you guys don't care, but like this could be huge for a lot of different reasons, which I don't fully understand.
No, I would like to know more about that too.
Oh my, oh, this is a lot. I don't, sorry, Amber short circuiting thinking about it. And Imogen like grips their like school books a little bit harder and like pulls their like saddlebag to closer to their chest, like um as they rack their brain to think of any possible way that they could like find this information. I don't think there's a legal way that I could do some hunting in the archives. Um, which I know hasn't really stopped me before, but
I think so. So Jerome notices Imogen's. I mean, you're hesitating, and he's going to bring up one of the debts that you owe him because of the broken bird statue. Like Imogen, like I get it. I know this is a big ask, and maybe this is not like something you'd normally do, but like you kind of still owe me for the bird statue, and I like this could be massive, and we need your help. Like you have the best access to like information in the archives to try and find out more about like how the veil could be weakened and how maybe it's been done before, and like that whole like there's a huge amount I just don't know about like what could be happening here, and we need to try and do something about it and figure out. I think we can all agree that the children of Adam are really bad news, no matter what. And if they're going to do something to like a fundamental fabric that is holding things the way they are, this could be just important for everyone.
So Jerome, I think there's something else on Imogen's mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm really sorry. Yeah.
No, no,
What's happening? Where's Sefer, by the way?
yeah, Sefer's missing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out how to find them.
I'm gonna cut in here real quick. Sefer, everything fades. And what you perceive is there are connections sort of available to you. Kind of like little moats all around. You lock in on one. That feels particularly strong, that feels particularly resonant. And as you connect to that moat and it connects to you, similar to the way it was when you woke up in the mannequin, you blink. Your eyes are not on the level they were before. You're awake. You can feel. You can definitely feel. You can definitely see, hear, smell. Smell. That's a whole thing. And you smell your friends very nearby, right next to you. In fact, talking about you. In fact. And you sit up and you feel your tail wag without really having to think about it. And that's also kind of new and kind of neat, maybe. And you're back with your friends now.
Della, am I in the fox?
You're in Dusty. You're in the dog.
Dusty.
Oh, in the dog. Okay.
You're in the dog. No, you're not in Zeke. That would be way more fucked.
That would be fucked.
All right. Okay.
No, you're in
Dusty. I'm in the dog. It's fine.
You're in Dusty.
I'm in the dog. It's fine.
It's fine. You're in the dog.
Hey, does anyone have any like burnt toast? I feel like I could really go for some burnt toast right now.
What do we hear?
Clear as a bell, Sefer's voice coming from the dog. And that is where we are wrapping for tonight.
Bitch, what? Huh?
So much has happened.
What just happened?
Hey, you were asking earlier where the dog where my dog was. Well, now we know. I am the dog and the dog is me.
You know? They asked you what you thought would happen when you die. Reincarnation into dog.
Yes, I'm in the dog now. It's fine.
You've become one with dog, in fact.
In a way, we are all dogs in God's hot car. Just some of us more than others.
It's Dusty, and Sefer, the combination we were always hoping for. Anyway, it's
you know.
I think Imogen hears this and goes, I gotta go to the library. I need to feed my Neopets. I'm dying.
And you never know when one of those will turn out to be one of your friends.
You know?
Oh no!
I thought about having you possess a Neopet. I thought about a cell phone. I thought about a pager.
Not a Furby.
I thought of, oh God.
Tamagotchi.
A long Furby.
I did not
Having to
Long
just
Furby
carry
only.
Sefer.
Not a long
Furby.
Furby.
Jerome always did leave it to Sefer to feed Dusty when he was away. You could have put him in the toaster.
Well,
Yeah.
that's really why. That's why I was like, oh wait, well, I was trying to rack my brain. I was like, oh shoot, what was the toast that Sefer always gave Dusty? I was like, oh, burnt toast. It was burnt toast.
Yep. So yeah, you are. When I tell you this session did not go any of the places I thought it was going to go, I did not foresee this happening.
This is not where I thought I'd end up. 3.5 hours ago.
Dope.
We're learning together.
We are playing to find out what
Find out in
happened.
RP.
Yep.
We done fucked around and we done find out.
You know,
I mean, hey, like I said, I was like, look, I don't know what's going to happen when I untether myself from this machine. I'm just going to see what happens.
you are a dog.
I'm
now.
dog.
So
I'm dog now.
That's where you're at.
I am dog.
We will find out. Tune in next time to find out what happens when you put a homunculus soul in a dog.
Great.
The question we all wondered about.
We were all wondering. We've been waiting a really long time. When will the government reveal? All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all who joined us. And we will be back on May 13th, Monday, May 13th, to find out what happens when you put a golem in a dog. And yeah, outros. Say goodnight, folks.
Wait,
Amber.
Are we not doing the 27th?
No, because we do it the 2nd and
No, yeah, it's the
4th. So yeah.
Yeah, it's
They fall weird because we have 5 Monday week, 5 Monday months.
Yes.
That's so stupid.
This tripped me up also the first time.
Yes.
I had to go through and meticulously go through and delete and then re-add all the sessions to my phone because I have them in wrong the first time.
Yo.
Yeah, I have them in there correctly now, but it does trip me up occasionally. But yeah.
Yeah, but because we have a this is a 5 Monday month. April was a 5 Monday month, so we're skipping the last Monday and the first Monday of May.
And regardless of this anyway, wherever they landed, I was going to end up missing one of the 2 in May, so it's going to be equivalent for me.
Yeah. So yeah, we will be back on the 13th, which will be fantastic. And Amber, why don't you tell us a little bit about where people can find you up till then?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name is Amber, also known as the Space Chamber. I am a 3-time Emmy-nominated TTRPG writer, editor, podcaster, and streamer. Currently on a mental health hiatus because, my God, I lost my goddamn marbles in January, and it is almost May, and I got 1 marble back. Great. Anyway, you can find me anywhere there's internet at the Space Jamber. Where lately I've just been posting that one time I met a possum a couple weekends ago. And I will probably be posting the time I cuddled a cow over the weekend, which was really wonderful.
Love that for you.
Yep,
It was great. It's in Maryland if you need cow cuddling. Anyway, you can find me playing Astrid Primer, who is going through a normal one right now, over on a season of Secrets and Shadows. That is going to be the May 3rd is our next one. And that will be at 8 p.m. Eastern. And We are also playing Daggerheart over on my good friend Paige's channel, so at Pluto Cleric. That is going to be every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We are doing very Game of Thrones inspired bullshittery and fuckery. And an emperor just died in our very first session. So we love that for us. And then yeah, I'll be here. I'm just keeping it light and easy until I regain the rest of my marbles. But thank you for having me.
Fantastic. We appreciate and we love a good marble collection strategy. It's an important part of life. Bedlam, what are you up to?
Hey, well, quick question for Amber is whether or not the possum that she met did it in fact have Sefer inside of it? Because you never know. You never know.
Well, this was 2 weeks ago, so it didn't happen yet.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you can find me here playing drum. Keeping it as mentioned light and breezy, not going through anything major at all. Trying to find out what to do as a teenager who is also a servant of a higher power. Whether for good or evil, who knows? I guess we know, but you can also find me playing Brindle. I'm for the first time in 2 different games simultaneously, and at Never Ember's Enigma on every other Thursday, where we will be heisting and generally farming, finding out how farming meets the big city where you steal things. So yeah, find me there as well. I'm here. I'm not on social media. Just come here. Come see me. That's it.
And Brendan.
Everybody, it's me, Brendan, playing Sefer this evening. Wow, what a journey we've all had together. When I am not here, I'm also playing Alex Sadowski, aka Victory, over on Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast every other Sunday. I'm also GMing season 2 of Cryptid Community College, our Monster of the Week Actual Play podcast. We would have been recording our season 2 finale this Wednesday. Unfortunately, to get word, we're going to be down a player, and since it is the finale, would like to wait for them to be able to play. So no C3 this week, unfortunately, but in 2 weeks' time, gonna finish up that season with a bang and some stuff that do be happening. And when I am not here on this here channel, I am also a writer for Dystopia Rising Maryland, if you are of the LARPing persuasion. And that's about it for me.
All right, and JD.
Hey, I am JD. I can be found on the internet at JD, not Jason Dean, pretty much everywhere. Tonight I have been St. Soren Augustine. You can find me most often here with Live from the Apocalypse, though later this week I will be with Lost Caravan for our ongoing Cypher system game of formerly Nova, where we are exploring space and everyone has trauma and everything is going fine. You can also find me normally every other Thursday in Never Ember's Enigma as Riv, who is playing this game as a dating sim, collecting enough people to create a heist polycule. It's not going very well for them, but that's fine. And I also run the aforementioned Sees No Secrets and Shadows. Right now, vaguely on alternating Saturdays and Fridays, though we have some weird breaks in the middle because of scheduling. And that's really it for most of the next week. You can find me on Sunday for Academy H, our Masks Actual Play podcast, where I play Casimir Bright, who does bone magic. And those are the things I'll plug for now.
Incredible. I am Della. I have been the arbiter of this madness, and I decided to put Sefer variously into a horrible cookie man and into a dog. I don't know why I decided these things. It seemed like a good idea at the time. You can find me here every other Thursday as a conglomeration of ghosts in Redacted. And you can find me on every other Thursday from that as a completely normal gnomish wizard named B, who is really just it is actually playing the game as kind of like a dark academia visual novel, while occasionally wingmanning for Riv and trying not to fall for the Brindle swindle. So that's why that's me. That's all I do. I'm also not on social media. You can find me here. And that's our show for tonight, folks. Have an excellent evening. We will probably find someone to raid. And good night.
Yes, good night, everyone. Stay on for the raid. And a reminder, we will be back tomorrow for Nephilim Tenebris, the second episode of the sequel to the series that was one of the ones we launched on this channel. So if you are able to, you should check that out. First episode was incredible. Going to get up to so much more mayhem, and you do not want to miss it. But until then, we are going to go find someone to raid. Hang on for that, and we will see you tomorrow evening.